Hi there. My name is Juna, and yeah, I would identify myself as a highly sensitive human. Part of the work I do in the world is utilizing my sensitivity actually to be of service to other people. I'm an intuitive, I'm a coach, I'm a somatic experiencing practitioner, and I'm quite empathic and just sensitive. I am sensitive, and it's part of my superpower. And also, it can be, as many of us who have incredible gifts, it can also be part of our kryptonite, and it can be part of our weakness. Additionally, and that's certainly been the case for me in this pregnancy. Um, and so early on in my pregnancy, when I started to have a lot of experiences that felt just so intense, I started looking online to see if I could find anyone talking about some of these symptoms and some of these experiences, and I couldn't find much. And so that's part of the reason I'm creating this video, is that I want to be of service to any other pregnant women out there who are struggling in their pregnancy or struggling because they feel really alone in what they're experiencing. Um, I'll just list off a few of the things I've experienced. And also just want to name that everyone has a completely unique experience. And just because I've had the experiences I've had does not mean that you will have them at all. I'll just give a little update. I am 31 weeks, 7 months preggers, got a little boy in here baking in the oven, which makes me very happy that he's doing well. But yeah, just to list off a few of the experiences I've had, I have struggled with pregnancy insomnia, and not just the mild version, like extreme pregnancy insomnia. I have struggled with anxiety and even the insomnia triggered an anxiety disorder. I have struggled with, I'll reframe this instead of struggled. I've just experienced. See, this is me already putting into practice what I want to be talking about. I have experienced anxiety, insomnia, depression. I have had a whole host of physical infections, from mild typhoid fever, diarrhea, 3 yeast infections, a chronic bulbous toe infection, styes, like a lot of body flare ups that haven't healed. Um, I've had to stop working for good chunks of time during this because the physical and emotional experiences were so large. So I've had to face kind of some financial challenges. I've also navigated not being in the same country as my partner for big chunks of this pregnancy, because of his work travel or because of me needing to leave Bali, where I live right now, and go to the US to get more medical specialized support. So I've been navigating just lack of connection, lack of support in this journey. I think that maybe about sums it up. It's been hard. And I know I'm sitting here right now and I have an ability to kind of seem calm, cool, and collected, but it's been a really, really challenging journey. All the more challenging because, everything you read online says you want to be as stress-free and relaxed and happy because your baby is feeling all the things you're feeling. So you want your baby to be growing in a really positive environment. And the environment that I've been living in these last 7 months has been very challenged, in a lot of ways. So, yeah, if I just really feel into what would I have wanted to hear a few months ago, when I was maybe 3 months ago, when I was really in the heart of kind of a dark night of the soul with this journey, I think I would have wanted to hear everything you're experiencing will pass. Um, Oh, I mean, the rhinitis, like the symptoms of rhinitis would flare up, but then they would shift a little bit and I could breathe a little bit easier out of my nose. Or, the wave of depression that was here in this moment would be really acute and then it would pass. Um, so I think just remembering that whatever's here right now, it will pass is a huge one. I feel like being pregnant, especially for highly sensitive people, is truly like riding a wave. And we have no idea how big the wave is, where it's taking us, when the wave will crest and end, but we're on it. And ideally, we could, you know, get our surfboard out and get our wetsuit on and really roll with this wave and this journey. But that's hard, for it was certainly hard for me, and it still is hard. I'm starting to get the hang of it. I'm starting to kind of learn how to stand on the surfboard, but then I fall off. But it's challenging. And I think, again, for highly sensitive people who are so in touch with their emotions, their body, and have tools and tips already developed to regulate themselves and kind of manage their sensitivity, pregnancy swoops in like truly like a tsunami, like the biggest tidal wave of hormones. And you have 2 to 4 times more cortisol than regular humans. Like, there are so many things happening inside of our bodies to grow this baby. And I have felt fully hijacked. And I think it really activated my fear brain. I think that's probably what contributed to some of the insomnia and the anxiety, was just the loss of control that was happening. Um, yeah, and I just want to first just say to anyone who's watching this and listening to this that you're not alone, that this journey is hard and scary, and if you're feeling any of that, that's normal. Some people out there, those lucky ducks, have easy pregnancies and just roll with this. And then some of us who are a little more sensitive might resist it, or might be afraid of it, or might think we have to do something. Like, this is my struggle. It's like, so what do I do? What do I need to do to make space so the baby will continue to have space to grow? You don't have to do anything. Just let your body do what it's doing. Allow your body to do what it's naturally doing. Um, I think another thing that I would say to anyone listening is just that the emotions piece. And so I teach and coach people how to regulate their emotions. I've been teaching emotional intelligence for years, and to watch thoughts pop in my mind that are maybe a little, you know, sad thought, or maybe a little fearful thought, or maybe a little frustrated thought. And those different thoughts that are like just small, all of a sudden hijack my body. And I go from 0 to 60 like that. And suddenly that fearful thought activates my anxiety massively. And I could feel the adrenaline and cortisol just suddenly pumping through my body. Or that frustrated thought in the middle of the night that I now have restless leg syndrome again, it just sends me going over the roof in rage, or that sad thought that my partner's still away and I feel lonely. All of a sudden, I'm taken into a massive well of depression instantly. So that's been also a shocker for me, is just to watch how dysregulated my nervous system and my emotions are in this journey. And I have to really practice a few things, and I'm going to share this as some tips. I'm sure some of you have been trying some of these things, but you have to practice really managing your own thoughts well and not engaging certain thoughts. And I am someone who is not interested in bypassing my emotions. I'm someone who's like, oh, there's some anxiousness here. Let's go into it. Let's explore it. But I'm finding that in pregnancy, because everything, the volume is just so turned up on everything, there's actually a benefit to reining it in and actually just distracting myself lovingly when some of these thoughts pop in. So instead of engaging a sad thought, I start singing and I put a smile on my face, even though I don't feel like smiling, and I go on a walk. Or I call a friend or my mom and I have a big cry and I just let the sadness speak. But I try to do it in a way where I'm letting the energy move instead of recycling it in the washing machine that is my mind. And so having a cry every day has actually been really helpful. And then also practicing some of that thought management where I'm just not engaging some of those thoughts. The kryptonite for me is anxiety. I've not really struggled much with depression, and I've done a lot of work on anger. So when those hijack me and I'm taken by those waves, I know and I can remember this is just pregnancy and this is just pregnancy hormones. But when anxiety comes in, I get a little more fused with that emotion cocktail, and I can kind of get a little more swept away by it. And so that one's a little bit more of a challenging one for me. And it's just so uncomfortable. So again, if you're having that experience as a sensitive human, feeling like these emotions sweep you away, the practice of moving the energy intentionally, like talking about it, journaling about it, physically moving it, allowing tears, but then it's like a combination. You don't want to engage too much because you want to also just continue to give yourself the broader perspective. This is pregnancy. Go on a walk, go dance, go look at some flowers. So that's been a bit of my balancing with that. Um, I think the other thing I would just name for highly sensitive people out there is just that it's no small thing to have a being, a separate but not separate being, a human being growing inside us. Like, that's just, this is really real. This is just like, there's a baby in here that is me and not me. And, and it has its own karma and its own journey in this life. And just to kind of have an awareness that what I'm feeling might also not be mine. It might be theirs, and it might also be mine in a big way, like trauma is surfacing in this journey, or something, some kind of deep stuff that's been hidden for a while is surfacing in this journey, and to really trust that. I had an intuitive I worked with early on in this pregnancy just really say to me, your baby doesn't want your trauma. And you're on a journey right now. Like, imagine you've taken ayahuasca and it's going to last 9 months or the next 18 years. And you're on a journey. Like, you are transitioning from a solo woman into a mother. And it's going to involve a lot of surrender. It's going to involve a lot of release of old versions of yourself and an opening to a new, more expanded version of yourself. But there's a death happening. And and so I really have embraced this. I've embraced and resisted this pregnancy as a big journey, and it's been really hard. It's been really, really hard. Um, because there has been a lot of resistance in my system to letting go of some of these versions of myself. So yeah, I think I just sum up what I just shared as, you know, you have there's a lot going on. You're on a journey. You're feeling another being growing inside of you who is you and who's not you. Um, and you're being taken on a ride and you're on the wave. And if you can ride this wave with grace, if you can keep a sense of humor in this journey, if you can really trust that something larger is guiding it. And I'm really saying this to myself as much as I'm saying it to you. Yeah, if you can trust your body, like, and it just starts with a willingness. And this has been my practice. Again, there are so many parts of me that don't trust this experience, that don't trust my body, but I just say, I'm willing to trust this experience. I'm willing to trust my body. I've got this. And even if a lot of me doesn't believe that right now, that's what I'm feeding myself. That's what I'm saying every day. I've got this. I can do this. So deep bows to all of you out there, all of you highly sensitive women who are pregnant, who are on this journey. I'll probably be creating some more videos about this, but I just want to just first acknowledge you're not alone. This is hard. This is big. um, and we can do it. And I'll leave it with that. Okay. Bye bye.